Hi, Corinne Saunders here with Outer Banks Insider. Today we are talking to Wendy Coulson Murray about her recent run through the Mojave Desert for MS Run the US. And how was that experience?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I started in Barstow, California as the second runner in the 3,260-mile relay across the United States to raise awareness for multiple sclerosis. And so I took off in Barstow, and 8 days later I ended up in Las Vegas running between 27 and 30 miles a day with a total of 222 miles.
222 miles, is that the longest run you've done like consecutively?
It's not, but it was very rewarding.
Awesome. And what prompted you to get involved with this relay?
Yeah, so actually my daughter works for the National MS Society for Endurance Events, Bike and Walk in Florida, and she was aware of this opportunity to run it as a relay, and she knows how much I love to run and see new places and raise awareness, and so it seemed natural for me to apply. I became an ambassador for the organization for a year, and then I applied to be one of their runners. There's 21 segments, and so I got notified in late October, and from there I started to raise funds. We each have to raise over $10,000, and then of course training to be ready for my segment.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was over a marathon every single day for 8 days.
Yeah, we would get up about 5:30 and we would hit the road right at sunrise, and I had a road crew of 2 that are employees of the organization. We traveled by RV, but then there would be a car that would do the stops throughout the day. They'd meet me every 3 to 5 miles just to make sure I didn't need anything. And then we would kind of make our way down the road. They'd make sure that I knew the navigation, where I was going, where I needed to make turns. I had a lot of straight sections. Out in the Mojave, it's pretty quiet. There was times that I saw more trains than cars, but it was really peaceful and beautiful. It was a great way to kind of disconnect and remind myself why I was out there.
Yeah. And how was the temperature when you were out there?
Well, I had actually, run all winter, and it had been a cold winter, and so I was a little nervous about the heat. I had done quite a bit of heat training in the sauna. It turned out that my first day was 90, the second day was 85. Of course, we got up early and we kind of ran into the heat. But then by day 6, it was 37, which is so unseasonable for the desert. So it was a little bit of everything. We had some Santa Ana winds that were blowing at about 50 miles an hour one day, and I didn't even take a windbreaker and gloves, so I had to borrow those to be warm enough out there. It's not expected from the desert.
Yeah. Wow. And so you stayed in the RV with the road crew at night?
We did, and it was something I had never done. I had never stayed in an RV, but we did something called boondock or dry dock, because once you got out there, there's no campgrounds, there's no electricity or water, so we would just find a nice spot, which you can do pretty easily, and pull off, and we would just kind of set up for the night. A lot of times we would go for a hike during the afternoon, go explore some fun like sand dune or a crater. And then we would, Gabby, who was the nutritionist on site, she would always fix great meals, and keeping in mind that the runner had to get up and go do this again tomorrow. And then typically by about 8:30, I would retire back into my little space and kind of just have some quiet time, let the road crew get ready for the next day. And we would, we were up early. It was kind of like your job. It was like, everybody was very focused on having fun, but knowing that we had a job to do. So it was.
And what did it mean to raise funds for them?
So I felt like I love to run. I love to go see new places. I go often, on my own adventures. But I felt like my miles needed to mean something, and I felt like for something that I really loved, that I needed to, put some purpose behind them. And so MS was obviously an easy one to do. They offered something that I could do, being running, and B, the connection with my daughter. She was able to come out for a couple days, and she ran some miles with me. She was at the finish line. I did, when I was out in the desert about 5 weeks before, I kind of went out hoping for some heat training. It was cold then too. To jackpot 48 hours. I met a lovely lady, very much of a coincidence. I was walking, she was talking to a friend. I happened to mention about the weather being cold, that I was coming out in 5 weeks. I was hoping it was going to be warmer. And she actually, and I said I was coming out to run this relay. She didn't know anything about it. We didn't exchange information at all. She found me, she donated, and then I was able to reach out to her with her contact information. And her mother had passed away when she was 56, and she had watched, her mom with this debilitating disease. And so she was there, her son, the grandson, and then her sister and their kids were there at the finish. And she ran the last 2 miles with me, so it was really special.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was very meaningful to have her out there.
Yeah. What was her name?
Her name was Lisa, and her son was Max, and the sister was Amy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very special.
Yeah. Nice. And so what got you running in the first place?
Oh goodness, I've always been a runner. I ran in high school, and when I got out of college, I ran my first marathon, and I did that for Team in Training to raise money for cancer. And so I kind of ran on my own for a long time. And then when I moved to the Outer Banks, my daughter was involved as an elementary school go out for a run. And we had just moved here, and so, we ran a lot of races. I got really involved with the running community, was involved in the Outer Banks Running Club. And so it just kind of was like one of those things that once I got back into it, I was really hooked. I had another opportunity to run for cancer, and that was an ultra in a 24-hour Virginia for Cancer in Hampton. And so after I got introduced 11 years to the ultra community, I was hooked. I just wanted to, every format. I'm not really a trail runner, I'm more of a road runner, but I really just wanted to explore wherever my feet could take me.
So this is not the longest run you've done. What was the longest?
So the longest was 367 miles. It was called Tall Here Ultra. It started at Corova at the state line, and it went Virginia and North Carolina state line, hugging the coast, going through 3 ferry rides, and finishing in Calabash, South Carolina, which is at the North Carolina-South Carolina line.
How many days did that take?
It was 6 days and 16 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about 11 years ago that I did that. I've done a couple others. I've done 314 across Tennessee. I've done 200 across Florida. I really like the long distance stuff. I like the multi-day, the journey of watching the sunset, going through the night, watching the sunrise. I think that they give you opportunities to reset yourself. Mm-hmm. You kind of get a chance to take a little rest. It might be, in a cemetery or at a church pew or a picnic bench, or it could be in a hotel. It could be in an RV, in a boondock, in the Mojave. But those are all part of the adventures.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So prior to this run, had you been out to the Mojave Desert?
I had been out to Death Valley and run in it, but I had not been to the Mojave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything that surprised you there?
No. I knew how desolate it was going to be. Probably just the cold. I was really expecting the heat, and I knew it was going to be dry. It hit me quick. I had only been out 1 day prior, so the first day of running, between a little bit of elevation and the heat that day, and just how dry it was, I was so thirsty. Nothing could kind of quench my thirst. And having run here all winter, I could run 26 without a whole lot of nutrition or hydration, but out there I was really feeling the heat or the dryness. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of nosebleeds, things that you just don't experience out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. What's your advice for anybody who's trying to do these long runs?
Well, first of all, have fun. Enjoy it. Everything doesn't have to be a race per se. Everything doesn't have to be, at your, your fastest pace. You really smell the roses, But I really am all about movement. It's okay to walk. It's okay to run. It's okay to crawl. Whatever it is, just get out there and do it. And if you have a dream, or you want to raise money, or you want to, be a part of something, don't be afraid. Don't let the fear, control you. Just go sign up. Go do it, and you'll find a way. Get involved with the community. Everybody will help you with the miles, and tell your story. People want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to share about my MS Run the US journey.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us today as we talked to Kitty Hawk resident Wendy Coulson Murray about her run. And to hear more and view more and to support our work, please go to outerbanksnews.org/subscribe.